Right. So we are going to discuss about pre-sales. Okay. Because first of all, let me give you a briefing about what exactly pre-sales is and to what extent pre-sales is something essentially important in the field of IT application development. Normally, whenever we see, especially in terms of the services of IT is concerned, I mean to say software services. Software services are based on two things. One is project or service based. Second is product based. Okay, any organization, I am not naming any specific organization here, irrespective of the organization it belongs to. Usually there will be two things. One is project or service based organizations and product based organizations. Service based organizations, if you see, when there is a requirement for any customer, exclusive solutions will be provided for a particular customer. And that's where generally service-based, project-based is. I'll give you an example so that you can understand well. Let's say there is a retail store. A retail store wants some point of sale system to develop, because point of sale system is a billing system will be used in the retail store. So that required by a business owner, where they want you to develop a point of sale system for their business needs. Do they have existing application or not? Whether is it required for us to migrate? Those are all next level things. Okay, forget about that, right? So the customer has some requirement. A customer has some business problem, right? For example, a customer has some business problem. This business problem will be addressed in different ways. Whatever the ways and all, that I'll discuss it later, right? So in different ways, this business problem will be addressed, and they expect a solution for that. Expect a solution for that. So if you are considering service-based organizations, project-based companies, X is a customer, client. He wants some business problem and he want us to address the particular business problem. So whatever the services a software organization provides, that is something confined to that particular customer. This is not something relating to the other people, because other people are no way related here. It is something confined only for a particular customer only. This is where generally we call it as project-based or service-based organization stands for. Most of the organizations in the field of IT do this. This is one area, right? So because they provide different services to the customers, whoever has come across, irrespective of the experience they belongs to, because some organizations may have experience in the field of healthcare. Some may be having experience in the field of banking, insurance, supply chain management. Right? So somebody may have experience in the field of retailing. So these are the different expertise an organization has. Based on that, they will be participating on the bidding. This is where generally project or service-based context is. The second is product-based services. The product-based services where based on the market expectations and demands, we identified a gap Yeah, we identified a gap and develop a product. This is where generally product-based companies are. Let's say, I'll give you an example to you. Let's say, financial institutions, banks, all that, right? So banks majorly do two different business activities. One is they take deposits from the customers. So securing the deposits of the customers is what they do. Against that, they'll pay some amount of interest. That is one thing. Second is they provide loans. What kind of loans? Either it can be secured loans, it can be unsecured loans. It can be of different loans. It can be consumer loans or personal loans, home loans, vehicle loans, all that, mortgage loans, etc. Now, being a product-based company, assume that Y is a product-based company. For example, Y is a product-based company. These people have identified there is an potentiality to develop some banking application, because assume that the banking transactions are becoming more and importance, as well as new lines of services are entering into by the banking organizations nowadays. So they have identified there is a potentiality to develop a product, a core banking kind. Core banking means core banking is a product which will be managing the back-end operations of the bank. Because whatever we see being a customer is a front end. But back-end operations, once the deposits received, right? So once the loan applications received, so whatever the back-end operations performed by the banks, so for that they use an application called core banking. Core banking application, they have identified developing a core banking application by considering the present market expectations, demands. Assume that I'm just giving an example to you. So there is an enormous potentiality. So hence they made some market survey, right? So they have identified the potentiality. At the same time, they have identified the life of the product, because when we are developing a product, that product should have a life. At least this product should sustain in the market for the next 2 decades. That's how generally our planning must be. Of course, for that, regular updations we have to make in regular intervals. That's a different level. That's next thing. So a product-based company has identified, based on the market expectations and demands, they have identified a gap and they develop the product. So for this product, whatever the amount of time they were investing, whatever the amount of money they were investing in, everything is on their own, right? So they are investing their money. Of course, whether they are getting any investors in addition to that and all everything, that is next level. Okay, anyway, that is different, right? So they may, whether they are getting investors or it is their own money, that is a different thing. End of the day, they'll identify the product. So whatever the product they have identified, they want to develop some product according to the market needs and all. So once the product was developed, this will be delivered to this will be marketed by this sales and business development team. Whoever wants, they can buy. So this is the one more type of service which software companies usually do. One is service based. For a particular client, we are providing solution. When it comes to the product based means, we are identified a product, a gap in the market for a particular domain, which we are experienced. For example, right? For example, my product based company experienced in the field of insurance, let's say, for example, right? So I want to develop a product which can be useful to the software insurance companies so that I can develop the product accordingly. So once the product was developed, then customers come into picture. Client will come. Once the product was developed, I have to market it. I need to establish my product into the market successfully. This is what my product was. And these are the features I am providing in my product. This is how this is different with other products, because there must be some USP. This is required, right? So USP is needed. Unique selling proposition is something essentially required, because if you don't establish an USP, customer don't buy. Because whenever we come up with a product, whenever we go to the customer, it's a basic understanding and basic difference which customer asks you, why should I buy your product? Because there were other products I'm using earlier. I'm being used now. I'm happy with it. Why should I buy? This is there is where generally there must be an USP is required, right? Unique selling proposition is needed. So without having that unique selling proposition, making successful of the product is something difficult. Okay, so these are the two major services. And the third one about maintenance based. Maintenance based means there were few companies even, of course, who will be providing services only maintenance based. They belongs to because they only takes care of maintenance projects. Of course, that can be limited in number. But maintenance companies means they only takes care of the maintenance projects. So they don't develop the projects, or they don't provide direct services to the customer. They takes care of maintenance. That sort of companies will also be there. So these are the 2 to 3 different sectors, different areas where we provide software solutions in the field of IT. Now, when it comes to product-based when it comes to maintenance, no, right? So because in this maintenance, there is no concept as such like pre-sales. Leave it. Next, product-based companies, right? So product-based companies, they have their own market expectations, demands. So they don't require any pre-sale something like, because they are developing the product and then they will sell it to the customer. So whenever they will selling this to the customer, according to the requirement, they can customize. Example I can give you. You can see Salesforce as a CRM application. Salesforce is a CRM application which was already developed long back. Many organizations, irrespective of the domain, many organizations are using Salesforce CRM. Have we ever seen Salesforce develop a product exclusive for one customer? No. They have a product, Salesforce CRM, a standard CRM product, which require whatever is required, all the functionalities, everything will be inbuilt in that. Whoever the customer wants, they can buy it. They can buy the product. But when they are buying the product, there is some sort of customization according to the organization structure, as well as the business rules of the organization. Some customization is required. So that CRM people do. You can say the same thing, Microsoft Dynamics or SAP, right? So ERP systems. You can name any product based. So they have a product. Whoever wants, they can buy. If they want any customization, subject to the terms and conditions, subject to the amount, there will be some amount of premium which is involved in it, subject to the terms and conditions and all. They develop the product. They develop the product and they give it the product and they do the customizations accordingly. This is the second one. So project or service-based services are different. Product-based services are different. In reference to the product-based, you don't require any pre-sales because the product was already developed. If customer want, they can buy. Subsequently, if you want to make any customization exclusive to the customer needs, we can do it. Okay, that is there. But majorly when it comes to the pre-sales in the field of IT services, majorly inclined towards project and service-based organizations. I'll give you an example so that you'll be understood well, right? So I'm taking one example. Let's say an example. I'll take the same example as POS so that you can understand well, right? So for example, a retail store called Why? Okay, retail store name itself is called why. They are having presence in different parts of the states in terms of the operations. Right? In terms of operations means they have different stores in different parts of the states. Right? That's where generally this retail store is. Now assume that, for example, uh, as of now, they have 4 stores in different places. Retail store, okay? In different places, they have 4 different stores. Their major business is to sell products to the customer, whoever come to their store. In-store solutions, in-store. People come, they buy the products and they go. That's all right. So 4 different places. Now, the first one is a business problem. And second one is the business goal. Okay, two things they have. One is business problem. The second one is a business goal. So what business problem? As they are managing different stores, I mean 4, they are using two POS machines, each, right? So it means 2 into 4, right? So 8 POS machines they are using. Yes, 8 POS machines in 4 different stores they are using. But when they are performing billing, while the billing time due to heavy load, of traffic, okay, time for billing is becoming more. Time for billing is becoming more. This is point number 1. This is the first problem, right? So this is the problem 1. This is the problem 1. Time for billing is becoming more because assume that there are 2 different systems in a POS store. More number of people were coming either in the day and evening times or the weekends and all, because the systems were very old, as they assume that they are already using systems, in-store systems they were using, right? So POS machines. Billing time is becoming more. Now, this resulting in delay in billing. This result in delay in billing. So what could happen if it happens one time? Okay, but it is happening recurrent times. Customer had to stand on queues for a long time. This may be a negative factor for a retail store. There is a possibility result in declined sales in future, because this is where generally the major problem which they have identified. Problem number 1. Problem number 2. They are unable to manage reports. It like stock position, sales reports, etc. Hence, business decisions were delaying. Right? So this is accuracy in terms of the business decisions, and business decisions were delaying because they don't have any centralized repository system. Because they have 4 different systems means 4 different stores means 4 into 8, 2 into 4 into 2, 8 systems at least. If you see POS machines, they want to collect the data, right? So they want to see which product is moving fast in one location, which product is moving slow, right? So what will be the sales in one store, where the store's sales were less, at what time we have good business, at weekends or weekdays, if it is weekdays, at what times, what kind of products are moving, right? So they want to know everything, right? So because when they want to increase their business appetite, it's always important for us to provide quality services to the customer also. They want some kind of decisions to be taken. This further, they require some reports, which they were unable to do. These are the 2 business problems a store called Y is facing. Next is business goal. What was the business goal? As part of their expansion, they are planning to increase the number of stores to 50 in next 10 years, right? So this is their business target, business goal, which they wants to. Which areas, which states and which cities are potential to do business and all to establish. They want to make that survey. That is different. But end of the day, their business goal, as part of the business expansion, they are planning to increase the number of stores to 50. This is their target. As of now, they have 4. They want to reach to the target over 50 for the next 10 years. This is their planning. Now, here is the solution. What is the solution customer is expecting, right? So this is the thing. Now, what solution customer wants for that? First one, to get rid of delay in billing. This is the first thing. Comma, accuracy. This is the one which customer requires. This is the first point. The kind of solution what they're expecting. Second, there must be a central repository system so that they can collectively generate reports for effective and fast decision making. Above all, third solution, they want to have a less complex based billing process. They want to have less, right? So they want to have less complex based billing process so that operational cost management and operational cost management billing process, so that the operation cost management and effectiveness is what they are expecting. Okay. Now, if you have taken an organization, what is that this organization? This organization is a retail store. They have existing stores, four different places, which is going on well. They have POS machines. Underline this point. It's not a new business. They are already have POS machines, in-store POS machines. They are managing. But the major problem they are facing is two. One is about system performance. Second is data centralization. Why system performance? They wants to increase the performance of the system so that the amount of time which is taking for billing will come down. This is the thing which they are expecting. Second is they want to reduce the complex, they want to centralize the data. If they want to centralize the data so that the decisions will become much easier. These are the two major problems which they are facing now. Existing problems for these two: system performance and data centralization. In connect to that, they have a business goal. What business goal? They want to increase their stores to next 50 stores. They want to increase for the next 10 years, in the span of 10 years. So they want some kind of solution where they shouldn't find any difficulties in future. Because when more number of stores were opened, operational cost, operational difficulties, difficulties will also be much higher. So they want to smoothen the billing process, all that, without having any difficulties and all. They want to have a permanent solution for this, one-stop solution kind of. So that even though if they are opening 50, more than that sometimes, billing as well as that structure over the billing part, as far as the billing itself is concerned, that sort of thing shouldn't be any kind of problem, right? So this is where generally the business goal is. So what kind of solution they're expecting? They want a billing time must be accurate. There must be a central repository system where they can access these reports and all anywhere across the world. That is one area which they are expecting. At the same time, they want some kind of solution in terms of the business itself is concerned, where operational cost, operational management and all everything should be much lesser. At the same time, efficiency, because so that they can concentrate on the other business areas, right? So they have a difficulty in managing the operations of the day-to-day activities, then they don't get time to think over expansion, and right, there won't be any creativity more left. So these are the things which customer is expecting. So what customer do? Now, client will client will issue generally, initially, because this varies some to organization, this will vary. Client will issue an EOA. First of all, what is EOA stands for? EOA stands for expression of interest. Expression of interest means people, they address the first thing, right? So they address what they are, right? Who they are, and they will offer people, right? So whoever is having interest over providing solutions for the kind of problems they were expecting someone to give. Go ahead.
Yeah, Raj, I want to know the difference between client and customer.
Sorry.
Uh, I want to know the difference between difference between client and customer.
Almost
Is
the
it
same.
both are same?
Yeah, almost the same. Both are same.
Okay.
Because some people use a word called client, some people will call it as customer, right? Because this is a generic word, we use whoever wants solution. That whoever wants solution, those people we call it as client or a customer. For example, if you have taken uh, organization in the larger context, right? So organization is so large. Normally, that way, what is that we see is that we call them as clients, which are in terms of big number, I can say. For a general wording purpose and all, we use a word called customer. That's it. And sometimes there are other terminologies also, like project sponsor, business owner, right? That also will be used in regular interviews. That I'll tell you next. Go ahead now. You're asking something.
And one more
Go ahead.
thing, yeah. Like whatever for example, in this business problem, is it about application or entire POS? Like for example, if I take Zudio, the latest in the market, like they are having POS machines, right? Billing counters, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
that like we are responsible for entire IT, like application development and infrastructure. Everything we are responsible, right here.
Who, to whom you are addressing? I didn't understand your question.
Yeah, uh, in this POS machine,
Hmm.
let's say store,
POS
have
is a
8
billing
POS
system.
machines, right?
POS is a billing system. Okay.
Billing system.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
That entire system, we need to give solution, or they will ask for
That comes next.
like
I
IT
didn't.
infrastructure or apply.
I
Okay.
didn't came to that extent. We were. That is long time to go
Okay.
to
Yeah.
discuss about that.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
we were not in that stage. We were in the
Okay.
stage of understanding the problem of the customer, which was given by us to us. So I
Okay.
understood your
Okay.
question. What is that you're asking? Do you want us to develop solution only for POS, or is there any other applications which are connected? We want to give solutions for that also. You're asking that.
Okay.
So
Yes. Whatever the application
their
which are
solution architects and all everything comes into picture. That will be your question will be addressed in future, not now. I understand
okay.
your question. Because in this stage we don't discuss, because now customer has a problem. That's it, right? So what kind of
Okay.
problem is
Okay.
this? How intense the problem is? This application, depending
Okay.
on what are the dependent factors with this application, whatever the question you have asked, this has to be addressed by us in coming days. Whenever we are giving a proposal based on the information which customer has given, whenever at the time of understanding the requirements and all everything on a high level note initially, that time we discuss all this. What is that? What exactly POS system, right? So is it POS system is a standalone one? Or is this POS system is connecting with any other applications? Is there any dependencies which is involved with this? If yes, how to address the problem, right? So is it only POS system to be addressed, or is there any other areas to be addressed or not? So for that, what must be the enterprise architecture? So again, in this enterprise architecture, we need to understand the business, not being a pre-sales, okay? You are nowhere related to that. Because again, there will be architect people comes into picture. So what architect people, again, in this architect people, enterprise architects will be there. So what enterprise architects do? Enterprise architects try to understand the enterprise of this stores, retail store. For example, they want to know about the business architecture, how the business runs, what are their rules, business process. They want to know first. Second, to run this business, what are the different applications are involved in it? I will show you the diagram. This is what generally a solution architect or enterprise architect, I don't say solution architect, enterprise architecture want to know about this. That comes next. When we are trying to understand what kind of solution and all that time, we required all this. This is where generally enterprise view means based on the requirements will be taken. Any organization consists of these things. Organization will take business decisions. So for that, they have to build strategies. They have people who uses applications. So for that, they require some systems. To manage their business operations, they require data. Okay. So when you are talking about point of sale system, let me put you this way. Point of sale system is a one business problem which customer has. At the time of addressing the business problem, in terms of the point of sale system, the kind of problem they were facing, architect people, again in this architect people, again, enterprise architect people were different, solution architect people were different. So enterprise and as well as solution architect people try to understand what complexity is involved in this to develop the solution. These are all will be discussed when we have taken high-level requirements from the customer first. Understood? This is nothing to do with point of sale. This is nothing to do with pre-sales team directly. Okay, but sometimes, as based on your previous work experience, I have to address this thing for you, right? So this is where sometimes you told me, I don't want to reveal your company name where you have worked earlier, because let's say that, as you told earlier, I have taken for one company, I have taken as a developer first initially. What you said after that, they have moved me into the pre-sales side, right? That's what you said. Am I right? Or not?
Yeah.
John, right? That's what you said. So why they have moved? There is a reason behind that. Because if you are a pre-sales person, or else we also call you as a pre-sales engineer, your role is, right? If you are a pre-sales engineer, you must be having a solution design level understanding is required for you, first of all. Understood? Journey, right?
Yeah.
You understand or not, right? You need to have
Yes,
a
yes, yes.
solution level understanding, because you may be a technical person, because some people, pre-sales people will come from the technical backgrounds. Okay. Some people not from the technical background. They come from the functional background. Okay. So in your case, why your organization have been taken you and they have transferred you to the pre-sales team, because they want some pre-sales engineering people, whoever has a strong command over the technology. The reason they have taken you that role. Do you understand this? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now, if you are a pre-sales person, the doubt what you is having, partially it is right. You need to have an understanding over the solution architectural approach, high level. Okay. But being a pre-sales engineer, we don't have strong presence over the enterprise architecture, strong presence over the solution architects, all that. So those roles will be separate. That's not the role which normally this pre-sales engineering people do that. Understood, Johnny? Clear or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yes.
a person having hardly 1, 2 years, 3 years of experience in pre-sales, right? So they can understand a high-level view over the solution by interacting with stakeholders and all. But what could be the complexity internally, how the systems works, right? So how these systems were interconnected and dependent. For example, if you have taken POS, POS is connecting to inventory management system. Okay. Whatever the changes you are making in POS system, you have to see inventory management system, because you are accessing the data from inventory management, right? So these sort of micro level understanding may not be there for a pre-sales engineer. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes. Yes.
So those things will be discussed in the next level, because not in this level. Because in this level, customer is giving you the EOI, which is called